All right, guys. So, what's going on? Good morning, or almost afternoon, I suppose. I tried to go live on Facebook, but it didn't want to let me, so we're going to do it this way. Today, I'm going to do a little how-to video to kind of show you guys some of the work and creativity that goes into making some of your holsters or your perspective holsters. I'm not gonna do it to completion on video today because I don't know if Facebook will allow me to upload a video that long, and I'm not that great at video editing yet. Otherwise, I could, shorten it for time. But so what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna make a holster for my Glock 19. I'm gonna go over some of the blocking techniques and things that I do, so you can kind of see how it's done. Now, granted, there's a ton of videos out there on how to make a holster. I mean, guys that have been doing this way longer than I have. I want to maybe help out some prospective, future maybe guys that or people that want to make holsters, maybe want to give it a shot. Anyway, let's go down on the bench here and we'll show you what we got going on. All right, so this is my Glock 19, and this is the mold I'm going to use to actually make the holster. Now, I can use the gun to make the holster. One of the benefits to using a mold, this is a mold by Multi-Molds, they're great, is it's already got some of the work done for me. Like up here, the sight channel is blocked off, it's raised, so I don't have to add anything there. Also, you see on this side some of the controls. That's for the slide stop is blocked out as well. Now, and also the trigger guard is blocked out. Very important. You don't want to. It's one of the main things that you want to be cognizant of when you're making holsters. You press your Kydex too far into that trigger guard on an actual gun. First time that guy goes to holster that weapon, it's going to pull the trigger and it's going to fire. That's not to say that still can't be achieved on the actual firearm. You just need to block out the area for that. But a mold, there and again, that work's already done. Also, being is that this is for a Gen 4 G19, only one side of the controls is blocked out. And if you'll notice that on my Gen 5, there's a control there, and then there's also a control there. So we'll need to, on this particular mold, we will need to put something there to make a channel for that control. So let's get started. I've already done some of the work here. Taped off the slide to make a little extra clearance. I put about 4 layers of tape. That way that when the holster is pressed, you'll still get a nice tight hold. But it will allow for just enough clearance. Also, the slide serrations aren't going to imprint in the holster. Really, it's more aesthetically pleasing to not have to see that inside the holster. I've kind of learned that over time. I mean, I'm still learning. I've been doing this since last November, so I'm not even a year in. But anyway, we'll start by making the channel for that. Let's see if we can get in there a little closer. Oh, okay. I guess it's about as close as we can get. Okay, let's make a channel for that controller. And what I'm going to use is a piece of pre-made blocking that I've purchased, 3/16 thick, just carbon steel. These things are awesome. Knife kits, Holstersmith sell these things. They are awesome. They help a lot. I do make some of my own blocking, which I'll show you some of these plates here that I've made. But anyway, so we're going to start with this piece. And, because I have the actual firearm, I can kind of reference it. What you can also do, make yourself some marks. So on this side, you see where the slide lever stops. You can kind of, just make you a mark, come across the top, make you a mark down the side. I know where it's at, but you can kind of put you a mark there. That way you kind of know where you need to be to give yourself enough clearance. And I guess I should have specified, this is actually going to be a level 2 retention duty holster. So Anyway, so the channel needs to come all the way to the end. If this were just going to be a regular IWB, just a regular holster, that can stop right before that. I don't need to block it all the way up because it gets cut off right in front of that control. So we don't need to worry about that on that one. But anyway, this one, we're going to line that guy up and we're going to tape it down. You guys be patient with me. I'm not a videographer. Tape it down. You want to be sure that when you go to set it, that you want things to be straight. You want it to be, you know, geometric. You want it to be straight. Also, as I've kind of learned on my journey here, that when you're taping things down, you want the tape to be nice and crisp. You can take a pencil, kind of in those creases, and kind of push it down so it's nice and tight, because when the holster is made, some of that stuff is going to imprint, some of the tape lines, you'll see it on the inside of the holster. Now, it's not a huge deal, but I know to some people it is, and when you're, you want it to be as aesthetically pleasing as possible. Somebody's paying for this, so you just do a good job, man. Do your best. So now, because this is a light bearing, I have an Inforce weapon mounted light on here. We also have to make a channel for that to go in. So I made these plates myself, 3/16 inch thick aluminum. Home Depot, Lowe's, they sell flat bar stock. It's relatively inexpensive. Get you a nice long piece. That way you can make you a few different pieces of whatever it is you're going to want to make. And then I'll take and I will tape that guy down about right where I want it. I want it to be nice, and because I got this straight, it helps me to get this straight. So we're going to tape this down nice and tight and line these two guys up. Tape it down. Down there, they're going to come all the way out here. Tape it down to the light so it's nice and snug. You want these things to be down nice and snug, because when you go to put in the press, you're putting a lot of pressure on it. So when you go to press it down, you don't want the press to shove all this, like all the work you just did, to just make it slide off the mold of the firearm. We're gonna make a little cut here. There's a little bit, it doesn't want to lay flat. I like for it to lay as flat as possible everywhere. Shove that down in there. And then what I'll end up doing, and also because this is the front side of I'm right-handed, so this will be the side that's facing out. What I've started doing recently to try to add a little touch of my business, Lone Star EDC, throwing a star on there. Now, I haven't gotten I've gotten a little bit of feedback about these. You guys let me know. Those of you who have purchased from me, do you like it? Do you not? I like it, and until I develop another way or get some other way of incorporating my logo into my holsters, this was, I figured, was an easy way to do that. Plus, I think it looks kind of cool. I think it's neat. So anyway, we're going to tape that down onto there. Get it pretty straight. Star's kind of a pain in the butt to tape down and get straight. Alright, press everything down nice and firm. Okay, that's pretty much it for this side of the firearm. On the other side, because it's a duty holster, that's where all the difficult stuff is going to come into play. So I'm going to flip it over. And again, like I said, that since the control is already blocked on this side, that makes it easier to put this guy on already. And just line it up, tape it down. Turn it a little long. Okay, kind of hold it, and then you want it nice and crisp. Nice sharp lines. I like to see the definition of all the attributes of the firearm. Plus it makes for a better retention, which is really the most important thing, especially with an outside the waistband holster. Cut, so we'll take it nice flat inside of there. Okay, then we'll come over here, put another piece. Come over the top here. Press it down good on there. Okay. And then press it down back here. That's good for now. Now what we're going to do is to hold these guys nice and tight together, we're going to come with a piece of tape around here. Helpful to cinch those down nice and tight. Like I said, when we go in the press, we don't want anything to be moving. Since we're spending all this time, we don't want it to go to waste. So I'm kind of pulling on it, you know, kind of tight. I want it to be nice and tight. You really want everything down nice and tight and secure. It'll make your life a lot easier once you go into the press. So, all right, so there's that. So there's that part. Now, oh yeah, we'll get that in a minute. So now what we're going to do, and this particular duty holster is going to go on to a G-code RTI wheel. Either I'm either going to put it on a paddle or a drop leg. I'm not certain just yet. And this piece here, I won't go into a whole lot of detail, but this piece here is to make the channel and the mounting plate for the actual RTI hanger that goes on the deal. But anyway, sip of coffee. Yeah, I know it's like 11 or whatever, but I'm kind of running on fumes here. So, okay, here's what we'll do. We will start with this guy. And you want it nice and straight, and I typically put it, like I can see the trigger guard here. We'll do that, and because, so there's a little bit of space under here. I know it's hard for you to see, let's see. There's some space underneath there. Well, we don't want that, because what happens is when if you go to press it, that thing's just gonna push down, and that's not gonna work. So what we're gonna have to do, my handy dandy popsicle sticks. These things come in handy. I buy them in packs at Hobby Lobby. Of course, you can eat your way to a pack of them if you'd like. Hobby Lobby is a much easier option. What I'll do is I'm going to put it under there until I get enough to where it seems like it will support it. One more, looks like, to make it nice and even and straight across. Yeah, it's going to be 2 there. Okay, so here's what I'll do. Pick me a couple. And we'll get it pretty close to the same length. Doesn't have to be exactly the same length. Put a couple marks, actually, so we don't waste the whole thing. Put a couple marks, the length, and I'm going to cut it actually a little bit shorter than that. I really don't want it sticking out past, and it doesn't have to be. Match it up with this guy. I'm going to do 2. And I'm going to cut them real quick. Got my saw right here. Hold on. Okay, so I'll get my piece on here. Get it about where I want it. I'm gonna throw these guys up underneath to support it. I want this about center of the gun. All right, and you want it straight. And yes, it does matter. Those of you who are curious, it does matter which way this thing faces. If it will determine which mounting hanger you use, either a 34 or a 33. In this configuration, with the slant towards the trigger guard, is a 34. The other way, flipped over, would be a 33. Just for your information, in case there are some of you out there who are like me and like, well, does it have to go that way, or can it go a different way, or whatever? It does matter, but whichever way you put it will determine the hanger. So anyway, so now make sure I've got it straight. Got that guy straight. And here's what I'm going to do, because I already know this is a duty. I'm going to have a shoot, which way does it go? It goes like that. I'm gonna check my spacing here, because up here is where the actual there's a locking mechanism that will fold over the holster, so the second level of retention. Anyway, and as you're going through and you're making your holsters and you're planning it out, it doesn't hurt. Before, I mean, right now nothing is permanent. I can take all this stuff off and start over if I had to. Take your time, think it through, plan it out. I mean, I've done a few of these, so I kind of already know, but when you're first, I mean, just take your time, just be patient. It will come. You're gonna make mistakes. I have a whole graveyard in a cabinet up there. I keep all my mistakes to remind myself. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I like where that is at. I hope Facebook doesn't give me any problems uploading this entire video. I know it's getting kind of long and maybe it's boring, but when I was first starting out, I watched a ton of videos just like this, how-tos, because I don't know, I get a lot. I'm a visual learner. If I can see it and then get it in my hand, I can. That's how I've always learned better that way. So anyway, actually I think that might be a little bit too far down, so we're gonna put it about right there, just a little bit closer, and maybe a little bit further out, closer to the trigger guard. Line these guys up right on there. See what I mean? Just take your time, be patient, don't get in a rush, especially if you plan on, you know, making any kind of money doing this stuff. I mean, the last thing you want is to spend the time and money to make somebody a holster only to have it sent back, or, you know what I mean? Because if you have to make it the second time, then it's free. It's free. I mean, you don't get paid to make it twice for the same person. So just take your time and plan it out. Okay, so I like that right there. We're gonna tape it down. Sorry I took so much time doing that. And granted, when I'm making holsters for myself, I don't spend as much time. I mean, yeah, I do care about the quality of my own holsters, but I care more about the quality and the finish and the fit of the holsters that I send to you guys, because you're the reason I do this, to provide you guys with a good quality product. All right, so we're gonna take that down. You know, when I do this, I kind of pull down nice and tight because I want it to be crisp. I'm always thinking about the end, like what's it gonna look like when it comes out the press? What's it gonna look like? What's every line and crease and everything gonna look like? I've always got that in my mind. Okay, how's this gonna look? How's that gonna look? Because I know for you guys, you know, that you people, you know, you my customers, I mean, yes, fit, function are probably the most important, but I also know that aesthetics. I know aesthetics are important. They're important to me, so I know they're important to you. When I'm buying something, buying a product, especially for my firearms, I mean, they're function, yes, function above aesthetics always, but I mean, I get it. Aesthetics are important, so they're important to me, so I know they're important to you. All right, so that, and then once you get like you got these things like taped down, you kind of feel it, kind of move your finger and kind of see if it's loose, see if it's wiggling, or see if, you know, maybe you need to add a little extra piece, or maybe come over here, you know, just like I said, take your time. All right, so we're gonna come back up here and we're gonna put on this guy. I wish that was a little bit lower over there. That's all right. This one I may not need to add any support, though I think I might. Well, let's see. Yeah, just the slightest little bit. Let's see what we have here. I keep a box full of scraps and all kinds of just crap. Let's see, what does that do if I add it? Yeah, see, that's like just perfect. This 1/4 inch MDF. I use this for making a lot of blocking parts and stuff. Get it at home, buying a big old sheet and cut it down. It's way cheap, even by today's standards. So, okay, yeah, that's what it's gonna take. It's gonna take a piece of that. I'm gonna have to, let me see if I have anything small enough. I keep a box full of scraps because you never know. You just never know when you might need a piece. Just a small little piece of scrap for something like this. So let's see. Well, this was actually for a trigger guard blocking. I don't want to cut that up. So this one doesn't need much trimming. I can hit it on the bandsaw right behind us. Okay, give me just a sec. That I didn't pre-do everything before I got on here with you guys, so you have to bear with me just a little bit. Okay, we're gonna tape that guy down right there. Again, for the inquiring minds that are considering doing something like this particular type holster, this line going down the hanger mount, I keep it like I want, like there's a line here and then a line here. I want those they need to be lined up, okay? All right. Actually, probably needs to be a little bit higher. I think it's about right there. That looks about right. Okay, cool. I like it. Let's tape it down. Yes, I use a lot of tape. Okay, there's that. All right, so this is a good time to explain like tenting in the tape. So right here, there's like that L piece. I'm not gonna cut it out all the way, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a little cut in here, a little incision, and a blade to cut, and that way I can push the tape down. I can push it in nice and keep nice, tight, crisp tape lines. Again, another aesthetic thing, not necessarily of the utmost importance, but for aesthetics, just take that little extra time to do stuff like that. It'll make your end product come out just that much better. All right, so it's a little wobbly because it's sitting up so high. It's a little wobblish, so we're gonna put a piece of tape here, I think. Get a little bit of trimming on that one as well. Come across, press it down, work the edge so it's crisp, and then come down in here, push that guy in. Okay, and again, take the time, make the little incision, Make it look good. Okay, that's actually pretty good. That took care of it. Had a little bit of side-to-side wobble. I don't want to take any chances when it goes into the press. Okay, so that is that side. That's a lot of work, huh? But it's worth it in the end to get it right. When you get to, I mean, for me, hearing back from you guys how much you love your holsters or whatever, I really enjoy that. So anyway, so here in a little bit, I'm going to post the pictures of the finished product for you guys to see how it turned out. I just wanted to show a little bit of some of the work that takes place, what goes on, what goes into making your holster or any holster. So I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions, concerns, compliments, whatever, man, I welcome it all. I take any and all constructive criticism. I try to do my best. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.